Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It is, I forget if it's Wednesday or Thursday. It's Thursday, and it's Thursday, April 16th. This will be a chart lesson for today. Really, I mean, for the most part, we were in uptrend all day. It wasn't a very strong uptrend, but you can see the EMA pointing up. It got a little flat at times. It looked like it was going to be a kind of a sad day right through here, but we finally broke out and headed a little bit higher. We didn't go a whole lot higher. For the most part, I would call this a range day. Once we broke above, I never did extend this line out, but you can see once we broke above that, we never went any higher. So we just broke above and became a failed break higher, just like any other range day. So and then we came back and we actually closed. We're actually testing that. You can see we're testing that, or about to test that same area again from underneath. Um, Even though we really never had a break of this little channel, you can see that we really bounced again here. So we overshot it, which often leads to a correction or even a break. And occasionally an overshoot, I don't say this enough probably, but occasionally an overshoot leads to a reversal even though you don't have a break yet. But so far that's not the case. And you can see now the midline's holding again. And you really couldn't find this channel here until you got the bounce right here. That was the first clue. And of course, if you drag it up here, originally I had it a little higher, but we kept turning down, so I pulled it down. And you can see it fits pretty nicely across there. So this was just a little bit of an overshoot. And really, you didn't need it through here. We just had a channel. And I didn't mark any shorts, really. There was kind of an upward bias going on here. Wasn't real strong, but you had this little channel and you had your break. And it kept trying to make a new high. This was about a 50% pullback for this move here. So this was an important area. But I felt all along that we'd probably go higher if we got through there, and we did. And that's kind of what happened. So the fact that we wouldn't sell off after, usually when you test something this many times, you're going to get a sell off. And we just couldn't get a sell off. They're ready to buy it just as strongly down here as they are up here. Maybe not just as strongly because we did go a little lower a couple of times here, but a lot of times that's going to be your best points to enter at these lows because you catch the low of these moves and notice what happens, and you can ride this a lot higher. So, but in the end, we had just kind of a two-tiered upward channel for most of the trading day, and in the end, I think on the bigger picture, it's just a trading range. Just all you can really say there. So, but let's back out just a hair, talk about the trades, and we'll move on. First trade I saw that was really worth, that I had any interest in. We had a break here of this channel and a new low, but this was such a strong sell-off that you don't know that you're not going to go a little bit lower. But I don't see any reason, so I don't see any reason to buy until you get the trap right here. And notice you got the new low, pullback, first entry short, pullback, and notice you got that doji. I was willing to probably take a chance below that doji, but when you got another doji right inside it and it couldn't break lower, no way I'm going lower right there because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars stacked up there, and 1, 2, 3 of them are dojis, a little bit of stem on each side. That's congestion, and a lot of times that's going to lead to your failed second entry and your reversal pattern, and that's what this was. It failed down to the low side, so you don't want to be going low below that stuff right there. Just wait. You might miss a good trade, but hey, better to miss a good trade than get caught in a reversal pattern and notice it reverses, and you want to go long right there. And that turned out to be a really good trade, and we just kind of got hung up from there on. It was tempting to go long right here, especially because it broke lower and turned up, and you could have, and there was enough room to get out. It's a little iffy though to me. I like to wait on a second entry. I think I'm going to go ahead and mark that green because it was real tempting. I wanted to take it, but I waited, and then this one we didn't get a very good setup. You got you got your, again, it broke lower and went high. Actually, I think it broke higher and went lower here. But you don't want to be going short because that's the first break of the channel. And so when we got started to get a bullish bar, I'm looking to go long, but it ends up closing back down, and then we got another one, and we're closing below the EMA. So it was a little bit iffy about whether you wanted to go long here. It is a second entry, pull back first entry, pull back second entry when it broke higher right there, and it is a little bit of double top. So I marked it green because it's a little bit questionable as far as the pattern there, the signal bar, and all that. But the fact that we do get a failed second entry short too, so and then you get a second entry long. So notice this new low, pull back first entry, pull back first entry. No, it's not a. Actually, it's not a. Well, yeah, it is. Okay, because you got a new low right here. I was just thinking it was a second. You got to notice the new low. It's a little bit lower than that one. So first entry, pull back. There's your second entry. It fails and goes higher. So there's another reason to take that. Plus your double bottom. But you had to be leery of this, but you got room to get out before you get up there. And notice we went just to the tick of those closes and it turns back down. I didn't like going short up here though. Looking back at it, that's a double test of that high. So there's, there's probably a reason to consider a short there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that one green too. But see, you got time to sit here and think about all this, but when this is going on live, it's a lot harder to make these decisions. And so that's the reason sometimes I don't mark them. I mean, it wasn't a perfect setup, but looking at it after the fact, yeah, you probably want to go short right there. But it's not a very good signal bar, but it is a double test of that high. And notice how we made a little bit lower high each time. That's a signal that we could go lower. So, and this one would have worked. So I'm going to leave it green. And, this is the one I was waiting on. Let it break to the low side, go long right there. Quick, easy move. Nothing more than that. And then it's just hung up in there. And there's no good setups long or short. There's not enough room. There is, there's a failed second entry long right here. But look how close. You're too close to the lows. And so just wait and see if you get something. It fails out one side or the other. And of course, it fails out the low side again, go long. And that was another great trade that you can route all the way to the top. And this would have allowed you to find the channel. And I would have looked to exit somewhere on the first break lower after we broke out of here, or maybe even exiting right there. But I usually it's better to wait on the first break below the next bar, and that didn't come till here. And see, that gets you out within 4 ticks of the top. Before it corrects. It actually went one more push higher, and you'll see that a lot. You'll get a couple of failures, and then it'll try one more time, and then it fails and traps everybody on the other side and sells off again. So once we turned down here, I kind of pulled this down a little bit, and of course that's where we turned down the second time. But I don't think you want to take a first entry short here. It pulls back, and you get a second entry right there. And you're looking for a new low here. There's a lot of matching lows. This one, that's basically just the support area. But this is you can almost treat this like a failed or a breakout pullback short. Honestly, I really just thought we'd go to the other side of the channel. I was a little surprised when it bounced early here, and that's the reason there's no entry here. Because there's nothing, it's too risky to enter that close to the EMA without coming down here to this trend line. There's just several reasons why, I don't think you want to go long right there. It would have been a good trade, but you just don't want to go long right there. It's not worth risking it because most times it'll hit that EMA and turn down one more time or break one tick higher and then push lower and bounce off the line and then go up. And so you can't risk that. And in case you never heard me say that, just remember that, that's what leads to losers, people forcing trades. If you wait and enter where you're supposed to enter, you're going to have a lot less losing trades. Yeah, you're going to miss some good trades, but that's where people, they're too eager, they enter too often, they overtrade. Don't be so eager, because a lot of times if you just sat here and watched for traps all day long, setting up at good spots, you could make a living. And if you're not forcing yourself into the wrong side, you would see all these traps because you're just sitting there. And when you see those traps, you know, these are both traps. They're failed breaks lower. And what most people will teach is teach you to go short right there on that break lower. And they're going to fail 9 times out of 10 first, even if they are going to go lower. And then look, it breaks out again. And then it breaks out the top. And it looks like it's not going to fail. It is kind of a breakout pullback long, but you don't get any setup here that makes you eager to enter. And you did come off, you did just break out. So just sit tight. Just be patient and wait and see. And even here, you don't get a good short. So you just kind of wait and see. And then all of a sudden, you get that little failed break higher and that big bearish bar. Go short right there. And that easy, easy money. And then, yeah, you missed one here by being patient. But if you're just patient, then all of a sudden you get this failed second entry short here. And it takes off. Look at that big bullish bar. Go long right there. And when it pulled back, if you weren't in yet, you definitely should have got in here, because now you got a failed second entry short, that trap I was just talking about. And it's bouncing off your midline. You got a little reversal bullish type bar. If I entered here, I would add on here. And if I didn't enter here, I'd definitely enter here. And so you didn't even have to, you could have waited here and just been a little patient. And you can see that trap easy. And look at that move. You know it was a trap because look what it did. It shot off. That's what causes these things to shot off, because all these people that were getting short across here, trying to catch a top, had to exit when it went higher right there. And that's what traps do. They trap you into the wrong side and they run prices the other way. And everybody has to start exiting that was on the wrong side, and that fuels the fire and it just pushes it like a. That's why traps work so quick. And that's what happened here. They were all long first. Or they were all getting short first, I'm sorry. And or no, they were actually getting long in here on these breakouts, see? And right here is when they realized they were fooled and they got to exit. And look how it shoots down real fast. And then it starts going up, and they all missed this. Even their smart traders probably missed this. And then it gets back up here, and they all try to get short now because they saw what happened here last time. And this time they fool them to the short side and take it out the upside. And you can see this stuff happen over and over and over. And a lot of times, if you will just be patient. And it's obvious we were well overdone here, because now you're at your overnight highs. And these are the ones that really generally fail for the most part, unless it's a strong trend day. And notice what happens. You got so much momentum, it shoots on through there. And it takes a few tries, and then you get a failed second entry long that turns into a second entry short right there. And just go short below that bar. I wouldn't have gone short below the bullish one. I would have waited for this one. And when it broke lower here, I probably would have tried to get in on a limit order, a tick or so back. And you could have, and look at it go. And you really could almost enter right here below that bar. But I think you've bit 2 ticks and you're so close to the EMA, you're so close to the support or the previous resistance, it's now kind of trying to act as support. I think it's too late then. I think you got to get in further up here. And I really liked getting in a tick or so back because the EMA is not that far away right there. And there's even really a little trap right here. And there's actually a trend line working up there. Let me go back to that. And you see that, and you got to close outside a new high. And that's a trap right there. And this one, I'm actually going to go back and make this green. I kind of skipped ahead there. But look how far we're away from the EMA. We've overshot the trend channel. It's a breakout here that's almost always going to pull back. If it was a real strong trend day, I'd say no. But on this day, if you want to be aggressive, those trades generally work out really well. Now, you didn't get a runner this time because they pulled it back, and the ES is like that. It's so efficient. But yeah, this one I really think you want to wait on this bearish bar, the red one, and then let it break lower, and then use a limit order and try to get a little better entry. See if that works. It doesn't always work, and sometimes you'll miss a trade. But again, like I said earlier, sometimes you're better off just to sit and be patient and wait on the perfect setup, because it will come and you'll spot it. But obviously, if you're jumping in and out and entering in the wrong direction and getting whipsawed, you lose focus, and you don't. And by the time you actually see the trap, It's like I can't afford dinner again because I can't have another loser or whatever, or I'm so beat down, or you're so beat down that you don't feel like you're too scared to take another trade. So just be patient. I mean I can't stress that enough. But anyway, notice how you're working down, and you really get two measured legs right here, and it breaks higher and fails, and so you get that failed second entry long. Uh, it's retesting that underneath, so it may be after 2 o'clock. It's real close, but I marked it anyway because it's one of those trades you want to take. Yeah, slightly after 2 o'clock. If you're still trading, you want to take that trade. And that was it for today. So, if you just waited on the traps, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is kind of a slow day as far as traps go. So, and you might even call that a trap. So there's maybe 6 traps here today. And if you get 6 trades and you just make a point, that's 6 points. Hey, $300 just to sit here and, I mean, no, you're not getting rich, and this is not get rich quick. That's just trading singles. Now, you're trading doubles, hey, $600. You get up there and you're trading 5 contracts, you don't need but a couple trades a day to make a really, really good living doing this. And eventually you will get rich, but don't treat it like get rich quick, because if you do, um, gamblers don't do real well at this. Most of them will fail. We don't gamble. We take high percentage trades that rarely fail. And when, they're going, any kind of trade can fail. But generally when trades, when we get losers, we read something wrong, we make a little mistake, we enter too early, we enter too late, that kind of thing. If you really sit here and you're patient and you're not constantly looking for a trade, and in fact, I almost recommend that now. If you're a new trader, just try to find you a couple of good trades every day and just trade those. And now if you're learning and you're on the sim, take as many trades as you can. Don't worry about that, because you really want to learn, and the only way to learn is to take the trades and either be right or wrong and then go back and study them. But once you get to trading live, be patient, be picky, be methodical. I like to describe it like be the predator. Don't be the little, I've got a couple examples I've used. Is watch how the watch how the mama tiger hunts, and don't be like the little babies that pounce on everything, or little kittens that pounce on everything that comes by and moves because they can't stand it. Lie in wait and be the predator that waits on the prey to come to them. Don't chase these trades. And I really can't stress that enough. That is a big key to success. So, and I know, because I was like that one time too, trying to jump at every, if I was wrong to the short side, it must be going higher, so I go long. And then I'm wrong to the long side, so it must be going shorter, and I go short, and I'm like, man, I've gotten whipsawed every which way but loose. And then eventually I give up, and it goes exactly where I expected it was going to go. And if I would have just been patient and I knew what to look for, I could have found some really good trades. So I'm trying to show you what to look for, and it's up to you to get your mental aspects or the mental part of this down and follow it. And part of that is just being patient, being a predator, waiting on the trades to come to you, passing up trades like this that are really nice, but there's not a good setup, that kind of thing. But what will happen is it never fails. I'll see this thing running up through here, and somebody will send me their thing and say, I lost money on these trades, and I look, and they entered way up here because they couldn't stand watching it go without them, and they try to enter, and they enter exactly where the smart traders are taking all the profit, which is right in here, and then it takes off again, and they just watch it, and they wait till it gets way up here, and they probably enter right here, and thinking, well, it's going to do it again, and the next thing you know, it's running the other way. And that's what the average trader does. They buy high and they sell down here in these lows. And you got to learn to do just the opposite. You got to buy low and sell high. And if the trend's up, all you want to do is buy for the most part. You just have to watch it when it pulls back. And when the trend's down, you only want to sell for the most part, and you just watch the pullbacks that go higher. So I hope that's clear, and I hope that's helpful to some of you. Um, I maybe don't talk about that enough. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.